Anand is a filmmaker with a vision and a mission. And yesterday we had Sita Sathe performing here, and I was introduced to her by his great film, which was, I think, the last documentary, in which her husband and her group feature enormously. So very different. Anand has got some excerpts which he's going to show and talk about.
Yeah, well, I basically have two types of excerpts. One I was going to show because I've been filming some of the rising student movement in the country in some places. I started with FTIR. I mean, these are not finished, but they're sort of like stuff that I did to put on YouTube. So they're because there is no release for our kind of cinema. I mean, there's literally very difficult to get proper distribution. And yeah, I've got two excerpts. One which I shot just about a week ago at JNU, and something that I shot a few months ago at FTIR. But I also noticed in the last 2 days here that there was an elephant in the room that was missing or was invisible. And I thought I would speak a little bit about that. And that elephant is Mahatma Gandhi. For some reason, not for some reason, I think that for quite a few decades, they developed a kind of myopia about Gandhi from the left movement and from the Dalit movement. So sometimes open hostility and sometimes just basically, today it's become extremely unfashionable to think well of Gandhi and to regard his contribution to the independence struggle and to who we are today. So I thought I would start with a few excerpts from my own films that deal in some way or the other with Gandhi. And then we can talk about that, and then I'll move on to the student movement excerpts. Is this mic working too? Yeah, I'm not sure how the sound is going to be. We didn't have time to test it out, but let's hope that it works fine.
To the sound engineer, can you put the stage lights off?
In fact, all the lights off. If you can put all the lights off when the excerpts are on, and also please monitor the sound from there. I think the sound is sounding a bit tacky. सगळे लाईट बंद करू शकता का? वॉल्यूम द्या. हॅलो, साऊंड तिकडे वॉल्यूम फार कमी आहे.
भीमा प्रत्येकाच्या जीवनातला आनंद लुटण्याचा हा सण, दलितांची दसरा दिवाळी, दलितांच्या उत्कर्षाचा मानबिंदू. अटल बिहारी वाजपेयींचं राज्य आल्यापासून त्यांनी सुरुवात केली. घटना बदलली पाहिजे, संविधान बदलना चाहिए. क्यों बदलना चाहिए संविधान, बताओ तो. ज्याच्या सावलीला विकार होता तो या देशाच्या घटनेचा शिल्पकार होतो. ये बात इनको नहीं अच्छी लगती, इसके लिए उन्हें संविधान बदलना चाहिए. गांधीजींनी बोला कि संविधान करता आंबेडकर, उनको बुलाओ, वो सही आदमी है. गांधीजींनी बोलावलं आंबेडकरांना, वाद असता सुद्धा का महात्म्याला ओळखायला महात्माच असावा लागतो. खरी बात आहे. आणि म्हणून माझी तुम्हाला विनंती आहे की ही जयंती बाबासाहेब आंबेडकरांची करतोय, विचारांची घुसळ नाही. हम तो वैचारिक आंदोलन की बात करते हैं, हमें इसकी लड़ाई भी आती है, हम इससे भी लड़ना जानते हैं. लेकिन बाबा साहब ने कहा ये लड़ाई से भी ये लड़ाई बड़ी प्यारी है.
Nathuram has been brought before this generation as he was. So far as the character of Nathuram is concerned, justice has been done to him. And here I may give you what Nathuram had predicted. भविष्यातील कोण्या दिवशी इतिहासाचे प्रामाणिक लेखक माझी कृती तोलतील आणि तिचे मूल्य पडताळून पाहतील यात मला शंका वाटत नाही. What has happened is history. We are taught that Shahjahan has built the Red Fort or Shahjahan has built this Agra, the Taj Mahal. So that is absolutely false. If you want to know the history, he only usurped it and converted the Shiva temple into a mazar. So do not try to hide the history.
nathuram निर्वासितांमध्ये खूप फिरली, त्यांना अन्न वस्त्राची मदत केली, त्यांच्या अंगावर कपडे घातले. पण ते उघड्या आहेत म्हणून मी उघड्या पाठीनं छातीनं सूत घातलं नाही, संडास साफ केले नाही.
ब्यूटीफुल है, पूरा सच्चा इतिहास जमा दिया. अभी आस्ते आस्ते ऊपर आ रहा है, हम लोग को खुशी हो रहा है उसका. वंदे भारत माता की.
This is from War and Peace.
Gandhiji was assassinated 2 years before I was born. The grief of this moment never really went away, unconsciously transmitted through the love of parents and family. That our family, like Nathuram Godse and his co-assassins, were upper caste Hindus, cured me forever of any narrow understanding of nation and any vestige of pride in the accident of birth. As the country convulsed in grief, Hindu nationalist organizations like the RSS were banned. Our family had been immersed in the freedom struggle. Rao Kaka, as part of the non-violent Satyagraha, spent 10 years in British jails. Ajut Kaka became a socialist and went underground. Both uncles withdrew from politics after independence, alive to the corruption that was seeping in. In 1962, the idealism of the Nehru era was shaken by a military debacle against China. Pacifism became known as the idea that failed. America had begun the doomsday game. Paranoia that the atom bomb they had dropped on the enemy would someday return to strike home ensured a permanent quest for nuclear superiority. As the Soviet Union, England, France, and China joined the nuclear club, the unthinkable became the probable. By the 80s, there were enough bombs to destroy the world 50 times. Radioactive waste from mining and processing, together with thousands of atmospheric and underground nuclear tests, polluted sections of the globe for eternity. In 1974, India exploded its first nuclear device in Rajasthan. The Soviet Union eventually collapsed under the weight of the arms race. But America, hostage to a privatized defense industry, refused to disarm. In India, the ideology that killed Gandhiji was once more legitimate. Nuclear nationalism was in the air. The memory of one who opposed the bomb on moral grounds alone had begun to fade.
नथुराम गोडसे नावाचा भटजीबुवा महात्मा गांधींचा खून करण्यासाठी 21 दिवस प्रॅक्टिस करत होता. लक्षात घ्या की महात्मा गांधी किती वाजता प्रार्थनेला जातात, किती वाजता परत येतात, आणि मग मी काय करावं. गांधी समोर येताच फक्त हॅट बाजूला करायची, पिस्तूल सरळ करायचा आणि धारदार गोळ्या झाडायच्या, गांधीजीला खलास करायचं. हा एक भाग. दुसरा भाग, बाबासाहेबांनी सुटला मतदारसंघ जिंकला, गांधीजींनी त्याच्या विरोधात उपोषण केलं. परंतु कस्तुरबा गांधी, महात्मा गांधींची पत्नी, त्या गेल्या बाबासाहेबांजवळ आणि बाबासाहेबांना म्हणाल्या, अंबेडकर जी, तुम मेरे छोटे भाई हो, क्या तुम अपने बहन का सुहाग उजाड़ना चाहते हो? नहीं बहन, मैं तुम्हारा सिंदूर नहीं उजाड़ूंगा, मैं दस्तखत करने के लिए तैयार हूं. आणि बाबासाहेबांनी पुणे करारावर 21व्या दिवशी सही केली आणि 21व्या दिवशी महात्मा गांधींनी वाचवलं. ए महार म्हणून आंबेडकराला साऱ्यांनी बाजूला सारलं, त्या महारानं गांधीला तारलं आणि भट्टानं गांधीला मारलं. त्या महारानं गांधीला तारलं आणि भट्टानं गांधीला मारलं. त्या महारानं गांधीला तारलं आणि भट्टानं गांधीला मारलं. अरे जातीची भाषा साऱ्यांच्या मुखी, भीमराव झाला भलताच दुखी, भीमराव झाला भलताच दुखी. मावशी, लोकशाहीचं बियाणं अख्ख्या भारतभूमीत पेरलं, या भारतभूमीत पेरलं. त्या महारानं गांधीला तारलं आणि भट्टानं गांधीला, महारानं गांधीला तारलं आणि भट्टानं गांधीला मारलं. त्या महारानं गांधीला तारलं आणि भट्टानं गांधीला मारलं.
Okay, we'll just talk a little bit about what you saw because the next excerpts are very different. So basically, there has been, in my view, a very ahistorical understanding of Gandhi that has become popular in the last decade or so, especially. To paint Gandhi as somebody who is completely opposed to Ambedkar and a supporter of the caste system. I think that's ahistorical because at the birth of the 20th century, this man starts talking about cleaning his own toilet. He's an upper caste person. I don't think I am not aware that anybody from the left made a campaign to change the idea of pollution. The idea that is central to the caste system is the idea of pollution, that somebody else has to do the dirty work, that the upper castes are not supposed to do this at all. And Gandhi insisted that everybody clean his own toilet. I thought, to me, that is the most revolutionary thing that could have been done at that period in time. And the fact that he didn't succeed in appealing to the upper caste to actually give up the caste system and give up untouchability is, I mean, you can blame him for not setting systems into place, because that is the difference between Ambedkar and Gandhi, that Ambedkar created a whole system, and because he was talking about creating rights and writing that into the constitution. But as you saw in the film also, Gandhi had something to do with the fact that Ambedkar was asked to draft the constitution. The other excerpt that I showed you about Nathuram Godse play gives you an inclination of why Gandhi was killed. Everybody now believes that Gandhi was killed because he gave some 55, was it crores, or I don't know how much it was, yeah, crores to Pakistan. He insisted, because that was a pledge that was made, and he insisted we have to keep the pledge. But in fact, there were 7 attempts to kill Gandhi. The 7th attempt succeeded, and all the earlier attempts had nothing to do with him being pro-Muslim or pro-Pakistan. It had to do with the fact that he was breaking caste. It had it was the Brahminical Hindus who couldn't tolerate the fact that Gandhi was challenging the notions of caste in the deepest way possible. And then those who, I mean, Gandhi has been quoted against himself by quoting early Gandhi, but Gandhi was somebody who kept evolving. And if you look at the late Gandhi, he's a much more radical person than the early Gandhi. And towards the end of his life, he insisted that he would only attend intercaste marriages. He would not, even when his own secretary's son got married, he wouldn't attend that marriage because he wasn't marrying, it wasn't an intercaste marriage. So I think these are all the things that, the reason I bring it up is that when we talk about, I mean, I made Jai Bhim Comrade because I wanted to see unity between the Ambedkarite movement and the left movement. Jai Bhim Comrade epitomizes that coming together. But I think that when Comrade Pansare talked about this side of the line and that side of the line, he included Gandhi and Gandhians on this side of the line. And I mean, that is Dr. Dabholkar and so many other people, Medha Patkar, there's so many people who have derived their inspiration from the non-violent movement in India led by Mahatma Gandhi and so many others. So I think that when we hear even Kanhaiya's speech, or when we hear I think that if we are challenging the rising Hindutva fascism today, rather than raise Afzal Guru and Yaqub Memon, I don't think there's any problem with raising those, but those cannot be mere slogans. Those have to be argued in a very sensible manner, because the atmosphere is not conducive to having just winning over people by saying Yaqub Memon ki jai or Afzal Guru ki jai. It has to be a very reasoned debate. But if you want to put the Hindutva on the defensive, all you have to do is to ask them who killed Gandhi. And if you ask that question persistently enough, as I do every time I get called on television, I don't think they call me on television too often, because that is the one thing when I see Hindutva guys on the other side, this is the question that I ask them, and they don't have an answer to it. They pretend, like the RSS pretends that it has nothing to do with Gandhi's murder because he was in the Hindu Mahasabha. But the fact is that Gopal Godse, whom you saw the interview of, he also gave an interview saying that he and Nathuram Godse were in the RSS and they never resigned from the RSS. He also joined the Hindu Mahasabha. The RSS, by the way, got off on the technicality. I mean, Savarkar got off on the technicality of Gandhi's murder, and the RSS finally got its ban removed because there was no way to clearly prove that all of these people were members of the RSS, for the simple reason that the RSS doesn't have a written membership. So anybody can be RSS or anybody cannot be RSS. It's a matter of what they say they are. Okay. I'm running out of time, so I'll move to the excerpt. Only 10 or 15, because I have 5 and 10 minutes. Okay. But isn't Vishal not coming then? So then we okay, then we'll skip the FTI 5-minute piece. And we have a choice between FTI and JNU, so which? One is 5 minutes, one is 10 minutes. So let's start with the 10 minutes, and then we'll start with the JNU first.
Anand makes very long films.
The 70. No, this counts. Light बंद करा please.
कॉमरेड कन्हैया को, कॉमरेड उमान को, कॉमरेड अनिर्बान को भी हम सब का पूरे इलाहाबाद विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से और पूरे देश के छात्रों की ओर से लाल सलाम है। आप सबको विशेष धन्यवाद है कि आप पूरे देश को यहाँ से समझा रहे हैं और पूरे देश में इस चर्चा के लिए आप लोगों ने मजबूर कर दिया है कि अब हम समझें कि राष्ट्रवाद क्या है। माँ बहन की गालियां जय श्री राम के नारों के साथ और भारत माता की जय के साथ अगर ये राष्ट्रवाद है तो मैं मानती हूँ कि हम सब राष्ट्रवादी नहीं हैं और हम उस तरीके के राष्ट्रवादी बनना चाहते हैं और बनेंगे उस तरीके के राष्ट्रवाद की संकल्पना करते हैं जहाँ पे जल जंगल जमीन किसानों की बात, छात्रों की बात, समानता की बात, पितृसत्ता को उखाड़ फेंकने की बात, पूंजीवाद को खत्म करने की बात होगी। हम उस तरीके के राष्ट्रवाद में यकीन करते हैं। ये वक्त है कि जब पूरे देश को एक साथ खड़ा होना होगा और ये एकता से और यूनिटी से चुनौती देनी होगी और हम पूरे देश में आज पूरे देश में अगर कहीं से इस घोर संघी सरकार को सीधे सीधे चुनौती मिल रही है तो वो छात्रों से चुनौती मिल रही है। चाहे वो मद्रास का बेलियास के भी सर्किल हो, हैदराबाद हो, बीएचयू हो, जिस तरीके से वहां से संदीप पांडे जी को निकाला गया, बीएचयू जैसा जो कि संघ का गढ़ माना जाता है, वहां पे मोदी जी का विरोध होना इस बात का सबूत है कि हम सब का संघर्ष जो कि कन्हैया ने शुरू किया था, जो कि रोहित वेमुला ने हैदराबाद से शुरू किया था, या इलाहाबाद में जो हम लोगों ने योगी आदित्यनाथ का विरोध करके शुरू किया था, वो बहुत मजबूती से उभर रहा है। मतलब नेशनलिज्म पे बात होगी तभी संघ का और मोदी सरकार का असली चेहरा सामने आएगा। किस तरीके से पिछले 4 महीनों से हम अपने फेलोशिप की लड़ाई लड़ रहे थे। 4 महीनों से यूजीसी के बाहर आप सब इकट्ठा थे, हम लोग भी इलाहाबाद से आए हुए थे। लगातार फेलोशिप की लड़ाई चल रही थी, दलित छात्रों का मुद्दा चल रहा था, महिलाओं का मुद्दा चल रहा था, और किस तरीके से राष्ट्रवाद की भावना को भड़काने का काम जो इस सरकार ने किया है, उसका इसको भुगतान करना पड़ेगा। और उसका भुगतान इस रूप में होगा कि सरकार को अब ये जवाब देना होगा कि वो तो कतई राष्ट्रवादी नहीं है, हम सब हैं कि नहीं, ये तो हम आगे मिलकर तय कर लेंगे। और मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ कि आज सिद्धार्थ सर भी हमारे साथ हैं। सिद्धार्थ वरदराजन जी को हम लोग ने बीती 20 जनवरी को इलाहाबाद में बुलाया था मीडिया, लोकतंत्र और अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता पर अपना वक्तव्य देने के लिए, जिसकी परमिशन हम लोगों ने वाइस चांसलर से ली थी, और वाइस चांसलर उस सेमिनार को प्रिसाइड भी करने वाले थे। लेकिन 19 जनवरी को एबीवीपी के लुम्पेंस ने वहां के वाइस चांसलर के ऊपर दबाव बनाया, और वहां के वाइस चांसलर ने 19 जनवरी को मुझे बुलाकर एक नोटिस थमा दी कि आपकी अनुमति वापस ली जाती है। मुझे जिला प्रशासन एक नोटिस थमाता है जिसमें लिखा होता है कि अगर आप कल को कोई भी कार्यक्रम करती हैं तो आपके ऊपर एक्शन लिया जाएगा। हम लोगों ने अगले दिन ये तय किया कि छात्र संघ भवन तो हमारा है, छात्र संघ भवन छात्रों का है, और ये छात्र तय करेंगे, ये स्टूडेंट तय करेगा कि वहाँ पे सेमिनार होगा कि नहीं होगा, वहाँ पे बातचीत होगी कि नहीं होगी। हम लोग अगले दिन सुबह 11:30 बजे पहुंचे, लेकिन हम लोगों के पहुंचने से पहले एबीवीपी के गुंडों ने वहाँ पे छात्र संघ भवन में अपना कब्जा कर लिया था, और शांतनु जी महाराज को बुला के वहाँ वो लोग बाकायदा प्रवचन करा रहे थे। और शांतनु जी महाराज अंदर से प्रवचन में ये कह रहे थे कि वो बाहर वो लड़की खड़ी हुई है और वो बहुत ही घोर राष्ट्र विरोधी लड़की है, और वो बिल्कुल अधार्मिक टाइप की लड़की है, और तमाम तरीके की इस तरीके की बातें उन्होंने हम लोगों के बारे में कही। और ये भी कहा कि देखिए, लड़की को चुनने का मतलब क्या होता है, अब ये चुन ली जा रही है। आप लोगों ने ये सोचा था, क्योंकि इलाहाबाद विश्वविद्यालय में ये सोचा भी कई लोगों ने था कि एक लड़की आ जाएगी तो वो माहौल शायद शांत हो जाएगा, क्योंकि वो सवाल नहीं करेगी। लेकिन हम लोगों ने सवाल करके ही लड़की को चुनने का नतीजा भुगत लो। लेकिन हम लोगों ने स्टूडेंट यूनियन के हॉल के बाहर अपनी सभा बैठाई, और वहां पे खड़े होकर हम लोगों ने तमाम छात्रों को संबोधित किया। और जिस एबीवीपी ने खुले रूप से 19 जनवरी को मुझे ये धमकी दी थी कि इस कैंपस में आपको चलने नहीं देंगे, हिम्मत होगी तो कार्यक्रम करके दिखा दीजिएगा, हमने सिद्धार्थ सर का वक्तव्य कराया। तो हम लोग ये कहना चाहते थे कि आप हमारी डेमोक्रेटिक स्पेस नहीं छीन पाएंगे, आप गुंडागर्दी से रोकने की कोशिश करेंगे, और हम अपना टैक्टफुली दूसरे तरीके से हम अपनी स्पेस लेकर रहेंगे। ऐसा नहीं है कि सरकार इंटरफेयर कर रही है, वो सिर्फ हैदराबाद या जेएनयू में ही चल रहा है। इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर भी थ्रेट मिल रही है वाइस चांसलर की तरफ से कि 15 से 20 दिन के अंदर आपको एक्सपेल कर दिया जाएगा। आज मैं दिल्ली में थी तो यूनिवर्सिटी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने एक लीगल नोटिस आज भेज दी है, और मैं ये मानती हूँ कि ये लीगल नोटिस इस बात की शुरुआत है कि 15 दिन में वो किस तरीके से मेरे खिलाफ माहौल तैयार करेंगे और किस तरीके से वो मुझे एक्सपेल करने की तैयारी में है। तो हम आपसे ये कहना चाहते हैं कि जेएनयू के साथ साथ पूरे देश में स्टूडेंट्स की सॉलिडारिटी को खड़ा करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि हमारी लड़ाई हैदराबाद, बीएचयू, जेएनयू, इलाहाबाद से होते हुए पूरे देश के स्टूडेंट्स की लड़ाई है। हम लोगों ने अभी 19 नवंबर को योगी आदित्यनाथ को भी कैंपस में आने से रोका था, और योगी आदित्यनाथ को स्टूडेंट यूनियन का इनॉग्रेशन करने के लिए बुलाया गया था, और मैंने उनसे ये सवाल किया था कि योगी आदित्यनाथ कुछ करे या ना करे, लेकिन हमारी स्टूडेंट यूनियन का इनॉग्रेशन तो वो कतई नहीं करेंगे। इसलिए नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि कम से कम मैं अपने समय में ये इतिहास लिखा के नहीं जा सकती। हमारे ही यूनिवर्सिटी इस बात की गवाह है कि वहाँ पे इंदिरा गांधी को भी रोका गया था, उनका विरोध किया गया था, और अशोक सिंघल को भी कुछ छात्र नेताओं ने बुलाने की कोशिश की थी, और अशोक सिंघल को झंडा फहराने के लिए बुलाया जाने वाला था। हमारे कॉमरेड लाल बहादुर सिंह ने अशोक सिंघल के आने से पहले उस झंडे को जाके फहरा दिया था। तो हमारा इतिहास और उस दिन भी हमें खुली थ्रेट ये मिली थी एबीवीपी की ओर से, और वाइस चांसलर प्रॉक्टर और डीएसडब्ल्यू की मौजूदगी में मुझे ये थ्रेट दी गई थी कि शहर से उठवा के फिकवा देंगे। ये अनुराग शहर से उठवा के फिकवा देंगे, आप क्या कर लेंगे, आप विरोध कर लेंगी। तो हमने उनसे एक ही लाइन कही थी कि हम विरोध करेंगे और डेमोक्रेटिक तरीके से विरोध करेंगे और आपको वोट से दिखाएंगे। और हम पूरे देश के हम लोगों को साथ मिला, इलाहाबाद का बुद्धिजीवी वर्ग भी आया, तमाम मीडिया के लोग साथ में आए और हमने योगी आदित्यनाथ जी को कैंपस तोड़ू इलाहाबाद की बाउंड्री में एंटर नहीं करने दिया। धरने पर बैठे हुए थे, मेन यूनिवर्सिटी का जो गेट है वहां पे मैं भूख हड़ताल पर बैठी थी क्योंकि मुझे ये अंदाजा था कि वो यहीं से एंट्री करेंगे तो कम से कम या तो मुझे उठा के बाहर फेंकेंगे और या तो हमारे ऊपर से जाएंगे, तो ये दोनों ही करेंगे तो उनके लिए खतरनाक हो जाएगा। तो हम लोग वहां पे बैठे थे और रात में 1:30 बजे एबीवीपी के लोगों ने 30-40 जिसमें कि यूनियन के ऑफिस बेरर्स भी शामिल थे, उन लोगों ने हमला कर दिया जिसमें मेरा राइट हैंड भी फ्रैक्चर हो गया था। अभी वो काफी ठीक है क्योंकि उसके बाद मैं आपको सच में बताना चाहती हूँ कि उससे पहले तो मुझे थोड़ा बहुत डर लगता भी था इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर, लेकिन उस घटना के बाद मेरे अंदर से बचा डर भी नहीं हुआ। हम लड़कियों के अंदर से, हम स्टूडेंट्स के अंदर से बचे कुचे डर को भी निकाल दिया और ये जो इस समय ये सरकार कर रही है जेएनयू के अंदर, ये जो बचा कुचा राष्ट्रवाद का डर था वो भी हम सब के अंदर से खत्म हो गया। देश में स्टूडेंट की यूनिटी को खड़ा करेंगे। एक बार फिर से छात्र एकता जिंदाबाद, छात्र एकता जिंदाबाद, जेएनयू एयू एकता जिंदाबाद, कॉमरेड कन्हैया जिंदाबाद। और हम यहाँ से एक तय करके जाना चाहते हैं कि कॉमरेड कन्हैया को, अनिर्बान को, उमर को सिर्फ बाहर ही नहीं लाना है बल्कि उनके ऊपर जो चार्जेस लगे हैं वो चार्जेस जब तक नहीं हटाए जाते हमारी लड़ाई तब तक जारी रहेगी और पूरे देश का छात्र साथ मिलकर लड़ेंगे। धन्यवाद।
Yeah, we'll skip that. We'll run out of time, clean out of time.
I really need to say this. We have to vacate this hall at 6 p.m. It's not like yesterday. We have to vacate this hall at 6 p.m. because there is a program that is going to be held, another program at 8 p.m. No, it's fine, but it will
It's on YouTube anyway. You can watch it on YouTube.
I love you all, but please understand. Sorry? We will put it on Facebook. Yeah, we will put it on Facebook. Please understand our position. Where there are some time constraints with us when we run a program like this. Please bear with us. Please cooperate with us. We are all friends. Come on.
Just see if Kabir can come back in. Okay. We have a few minutes for questions. Kabir is just going to come back in. Vishal, I'm sorry, couldn't make it. Actually, he got confused about the venue.
But I think we used the time okay.
Yeah. Okay, I see one there. And brief questions, please, because we only have a few minutes.
Yeah, very brief question. I want to ask Mr. Kabir Khan, whether all those protests which were he said
You better ask him when he comes.
Yeah, Kabir is just coming back in. He's just.
No, this is a question you can just convey it to him.
Yeah.
That all the protests, are they the publicity stunts or they are real protests? Because these kind of protests have become very routine protests before the release of every commercial film. So I just wanted to know whether these protests are real or they are publicity stunts for increasing the viewership.
You want me to take that?
I think you can take that.
I mean, how do we know any of that? I mean, how do we know if you are real or not? I mean, in the sense that I mean, how do you know if this question is real or not? In the sense that unless I know you, we can't be sure. So there might be some element. I don't think that I think it's silly to assume that filmmakers actually orchestrate the protests against them. And believe me, there is a lot of protests against anything that is anti-communal in this country. So it doesn't need to be manufactured, it's there in the air.
My first reaction to that actually, I mean, I'm not Kabir Khan, but I feel that's a very cynical question on your part, because, you know, given how Kabir talked about how the film was conceived, and you've seen Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Have you seen the film? Yeah. I think given what he's done in the film and what he talked about, how, you know, what his convictions were, I think it would be extremely cynical to assume that, you know, producer or an actor or director would do something like that. I mean, we have all faced, Anand has faced, you know, I've faced physical attacks with our Sehmat Hum Sab Ayodhya film, etc. So this is not something that one orchestrates, believe me.
I mean, 24 years after I made Ram Ke Naam, the film still gets attacked wherever I show it. I mean, not wherever I show it, but in many places. There are ABVP groups that come and don't allow the screening to take place. And finally, I had to put it on YouTube for free so that people could get access to it. But it's not the same thing when one watches a film on a computer alone, and when one watches it in a group and has a discussion afterwards. So I think that the Hindutva forces are doing a great disservice to this country by denying the debate that follows even the films that they don't like. For instance, I do not like Nathuram Godse play, but I would never ask for its ban, because and I would also, if I was in charge of taking decisions, I wouldn't have had Nathuram Godse hanged either, because I believe in the abolishing of the death penalty. I think Gandhi himself would not have wanted Nathuram Godse to be hanged. And I think that this country could have sent a very great message by not hanging Afzal Guru, by not hanging Yaqub Mehmed, because it would have sent a message that we have turned the corner and we do not believe in revenge. We believe in, if we have a prisoner who is in our control, we believe that we can reform that person, or we can at least keep him away from harm, but we don't have to take his life.
Any other?
Yes, I'm
comments?
upstairs. I have a question to everybody on the panel. This is a question about culture. Like the social and political aspect, culture has always been a very powerful medium to communicate with the masses. I recall 1977 when Utpal Datta used to have his plays all around Bengal and help raise the masses and their consciousness. Today, I'm very sad to see there is no alternative to IPTA, Indian People's Theatre Association, and no organization on the cultural front where, irrespective of their party affiliations, they join in and raise the consciousness of the masses. And I would request all of you to help create a new generation IPTA. The second point is a little different. It is about our media. Whenever I open the TV and watch either a drama or a serial on TV, I see every session has a prayer session with so much of dedication to whosoever they are praying. And on the other hand, I see so many American channels showing to our population how powerful the American military is and how powerful imperialism is. Okay. I think that is another aspect of culture. Yeah. And that creates a fearful attitude towards not just God, but also the American mind.
Okay, thank you. That's not really a question, but I think you got your point across.
I would just say that if you were here last evening, you would have seen Sheetal Sate's performance and many. There's a very lively and powerful cultural activities that are going on in this country today. But maybe it's not. It doesn't belong to a single party, and it is not. It has. I agree that that IPTA not being as dynamic as it was is a problem, and I agree that the cultural space has been ceded to Hindutva, and progressive culture has not penetrated at this point in time, but there are huge attempts being made, so I think you should just keep your ears open for that.
Sir, I have one. Upstairs.
Go ahead.
Upstairs, sir, upstairs. Yeah. I have one question, two questions to Anand, sir.
I can see.
Back, yeah.
Question to Anand, sir. Two questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
One is about the documentary you have prepared, Ibn Comrade. In it you have shown the depravity Dalits and the so-called lower caste, and you have repeatedly shown that how upper caste has done it in a various sense. But I think you have missed the one important point where Dalit has got its supremacy. In 1990 there was situation when इथे शिवसेनेची शाखा उघडली जाणार नाही असे बोर्ड लागले होते मुंबईत, and Dalit has got powerful strength in Mumbai even, but you have missed that point. My question is that the person like you has very good sense of all these things. Why do you miss it? If not, then why?
I'm not sure. I missed something in 1990. Just repeat that. I don't know. I didn't.
When Dalit Panther was in full flesh.
In 1990 they were not in full fledged.
Somewhere in.
No. I think you have to study your history.
Yes. I will study, but I need to say about.
By 1990 they were not strong at all. 1970.
Okay,
74.
75.
Doesn't matter.
I think it
1974 and 1990 is a big difference in time.
Okay.
1970, the Dalit Panther split up very soon after, within a year after formation, and Namdev Dhasal, Raja Dhale became separate, and the movement didn't last for very, very long, although it was very dynamic at its peak.
Thank you, sir. मी हा क्वेश्चन मागे घेतो हा प्रश्न दुसरा प्रश्न.
Okay, I think we really have to end there because we're going to be thrown off the stage. I'm sorry, what's that? Yeah. Or maybe one more, okay.
Actually, the question, I needed to engage Kabir, but unfortunately he doesn't seem to be.
No, I'm sorry, I was just told that Kabir had a call and had to run away. Yeah.
Nonetheless,
This is the problem with Bollywood.
No, my question was this, that since what we call Bollywood, I mean, I don't refer to it as that, but the Hindi film industry has been occupying and sort of ballooning space in the public imagination as well as certainly in the media, okay, and in every which way possible. And also the thing which has been traditionally said about it, consistently so, that it's a very secular place, the community does not recognize, the fraternity does not recognize divisions, etc. I'm not so sure that necessarily holds, given the observations which I've had, having been part of it. So I wanted to in fact ask Kabir, because Kabir is a conscious person, he also happens to be a Muslim, he also happens to be taking up these kind of issues, New York and Phantom, and from different angles he's been examining that. So I wanted to know what has been his sense of what is going on within the Hindi film industry, within the sociology of the Hindi film industry, along the axis that we're talking about, caste prejudice, class prejudice, and gender prejudice. Because I suspect there's a lot of things there which is worthy of sort of coming into public discourse.
Well, I think you'll have to engage Kabir personally.
No, it's not my curiosity. I wanted it to come up here in this space.
I think these are issues that need to be discussed.
Yeah. Also, Ram, see, for example, I mean, there's so many people from Bombay here. Okay, Hindi film industry occupies a very prominent place,
Yeah.
and they consider themselves as Bombayites, more than anything else. I don't find many people here. I mean, I don't find many people from the film industry here, for example.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be the cultural ambassadors of India. They should be engaging with what is going on in this country. This is the audience that they are addressing. There is no engagement at all.
Well, Kabir did come.
No, that's what I'm saying. Kabir sort of came up with that by exception. It's very refreshing, but it's an exception.
Well, Nandita Das was here yesterday, and of course Nandita is not a mainstream. Yeah.
We also have Zishan Ayub, who's actually waiting in the green room because this is the next session. So unless we break for lunch, he might also have to leave us like Kabir.
So thank you all very much. Thank you, Anand, for.
We'll break for lunch now and we'll be back by 2:15. Please be on time. Thank you.